go from my side. Okay, here we go. Good morning, June 2nd, 2015. Glad to be here with everyone. I'm here with Amalia. And just before Amalia says hi to everyone, I just wanted to make sure that you can hear me. So if you can just kindly let us know via the message, that's perfect. Excellent, thank you. Yep, I'm getting a few responses, which is great. Okay, perfect. So we have an exciting, I think it is very exciting, lots of very interesting news and great news. So we will start it off. And Amalia, you have anything to say
Hi.
to the team
Just
today?
sure. Just good morning, everyone, and welcome. And I hope you enjoy our webinar.
Excellent. I'm hoping that everybody was able to log in uh, okay today. I know that sometimes we can't have challenges, but definitely look forward to starting and here we go. Okay, just give me a quick second. Here we go. So we're going to follow a typical format. The only thing that I have today
hmm
that's very different is really we're going to take a look at Mary Meeker's report, which is a industry-wide report regarding internet trends in 2015. Great information, lots of gold nuggets there. I will kind of just share with you, I guess, my top four slides of this presentation and as we get close, as we begin talking about it, I'll let you know more about Mary Meeker, basically what she, as a consultant and pretty much an internet guru or visionary, some may say, she kind of gives us on a yearly basis her stats, trends, and predictions as well. So, so far today, I was just going to talk about a little bit more about the trends, but I'm hoping that next week's webinar I can spend more time regarding some of the interpretation of those trends and forecasting as well, because in the next week or so, many other SEO specialists, digital marketers as well, will begin to wrap their heads around this report and begin really forecasting a little bit. So we'll get to that next week. But in the meantime, definitely we share with you today the key elements that I found on this report so far. So to begin, I wanted to share this interesting and very useful article in Search Engine Land, and it has to do with Google My Business. And I know sometimes we have challenges, ICs have challenges with their clients whenever we're looking at confirming, claiming a client's Google My Business. And sometimes for XYZ reason, we tend to have challenges. They're not getting the postcards. They're having real issues. So now, uh, uh, wanted to share with you a little bit about the phone support that they have. Now, they've had this support for quite a while. As a matter of fact, since 2013. The only thing is that not a lot of people actually access it or know about it. So as a result, they don't use it, right? So I'm going to share with you a couple of recommendations that I would give you in regards to properly accessing um, the phone support with Google. Sorry, he's getting a question, I believe. Anyhow, I will address the questions as we go along. And so I wanted to share this how to properly or how to get the best out of it when you have an issue with Google My Business. Now, just a couple of tips. Tip number one, this is really available from 1 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. These are the hours that the Google My Business phone support operates. Now, remember, this is for Google My Business phone support only. I mean, if you call in for a different Google related question, they may not help you. This is if you're having challenges claiming or cleaning up your client's Google My Business. So it is from 1 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Some of the things is that you're more likely to get the U.S. call centers because obviously Google has grown and they have some employees or call centers in the US, and now they also have outsourced. I don't know where those locations are, but if you are in the US and you want to speak with a US call center, you typically want to call between 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. Now, if you're in Europe or the UK, you're better off waiting until the evening to call so that you're calling during that magic window. So you want to kind of be calling between noon and 5 p.m. if you want to get a U.S. call center, right? So if you are more comfortable with that, just call those times. The other one is that anything related to Google My Business. That's what the support's all about. Okay. Now, if you're on the phone, if you have any, for example, duplicate listings of your client's address or citation, for example, or my Google My Business property, you want to talk about that and seeing how they can help you, and you're able to work with them to make sure that you can properly set up their business profile as well as their Google Plus personal profile. So definitely you can take leverage from the phone, and they are willing to help. So while they're willing to help, take advantage of the opportunity, but make sure that while you're speaking with them and you notice something, for example, a duplicate listing or anything that you want to do, obviously this is the time to work with them. So just give me a quick second. Let me just put you in pause for a second. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to share with you the URL. Well, I kind of shared the URL with you already, but I'm going to share with you the process. So I am already logged in here into Google My Business Help. Okay. And once I'm logged in, you're here. It kind of gives a lot of information. If you want to contact them, you move to the right hand side and it says contact us. Okay. So on the top right hand corner, you under the blue theme, you can click on contact us. Once you get to contact us, you want to do ownership or access to my business. Okay. And then here is where you go to other problem. Right away, you want to kind of bypass this. Just go to other problem. When you go to other problem, here is the request to call. So you talk to a support specialist. Okay, so you kind of look at that. The hours are from 1 a.m. to 5 p.m. Like I said, you click on request to call, and here we go. You want to provide some direction. I'm the owner or employee. I work for an agency that represents this business, for example. And then typically you want to kind of go, I'm the owner if possible, just because of the fact that they may be asking you additional questions or putting additional um, barriers for you to get the information or get the information edited. And then once you're here, you click on this, and here we go. And then you talk to specialists, etc. You fill this out, and you click on call me. So ideally, they will be calling you right away. Okay, so very easy to use. Again, it all starts when you go to Google My Business and you go to contact us right away. Okay, I hope this helps many of you if you are in a bit of a jam with your clients, and definitely you want to be able to connect with Google's support, and that will definitely be very, very, very helpful. Okay. Now, if you're having extremely challenges, maybe you have to work sometimes with your production team. But typically, they're pretty helpful. I know that our team uses them, so they're very helpful. The other thing that I want to mention to you today was in regards to the event that happened last week on May 28th, Google I/O 2015. Where it is the biggest conference worldwide for Android developers. So it's more of a Android developer conference. However, some really great things happened from there. At this event in 2015, Google actually welcomed over 6,000 developers. It was their 8th annual conference. It happened in San Francisco. A lot of information that was part of the I/O conference, and as a matter of fact, some of this was streamed, and obviously, it's pretty long. I wasn't able to attend or not to fly to San Francisco, but I wasn't able to even log in, just because it's about some of these sessions could be very long. However, if any of you are interested, again, these are very technical, really more about technology, what's coming up with Android based technologies. But great, if you are looking for some, if you have time and you want to kind of know what Google's cooking from there and this side, you can definitely go, and I've added the link down there, which is g.co /dev/IO15 videos. So they do have a lot of information. Uh, Definitely, if you're an enthusiast and you definitely enjoy learning more about mobile technologies or Android technologies, they do have some great information. I'm gonna put the again a little bit on pause, see if I can find some of the things that I kind of got from it. Just to kind of give you the top thing, the things that I thought were kind of cool is the fact that the biggest thing was Android Wear. So the future of material design. So definitely they spent the session talking about the things that Google or Android is really focusing on wearables and where the future is. So that's something that's gonna be happening very 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 soon. It's already being launched and tested, and there's products out there, but they are being very aggressive, and that's one of their main focuses this year is to really focus on Android Wear. Still a very young platform. Obviously, Apple Watch now has now they're out there, and several Android partners are already developing their own wearable platforms, but Google is looking forward to make a bit of a push in this area as well. So that was something that was very interesting that I thought would be good to share with you. I mean, they're coming up with many things such as Android Auto, which is in regards to having Android Auto on board Hyundai type cars, Hyundai Sonata, for example. So they're testing also things such as virtual reality, Chromecast, which is basically something that plugs into your TV, and you can actually remotely cast content from your phone or tablet to your big screen. So that's kind of cool. So they're really focusing on these events. Sorry, these technologies. If you are interested, I'm going to share with you a link right now. If that's something that you want to kind of, you don't want to watch the videos, but you want to see, okay, what's out there. I've just shared the link there that you can pretty much take a look at, and it kind of shows all of the things that are happening from a technology side. Okay, that's if you are an enthusiast, right? The other key thing, just very interesting, is that not only did millions watch it live stream, it was actually the event was actually broadcasted to over 90 countries. So it's really the power of getting people together in the internet, and that's also very cool and amazing. The primary audience were developers and enthusiasts. Now, one of the key things that did come out of the I/O conference, where Google made a major announcement, had to do with Google Maps search and voice guided turn-by-turn navigation will be available offline. So Google Maps search and navigation will be available without a connection. Now, this is going to probably happen towards the end of the year. This is something that it's not going to happen to right away, but very soon, you'll be able to. Obviously, you must have, I believe, an Android-based phone, right? But what's going to happen is that you can now access Google Maps ideally without a data connection. Okay, so that's definitely great for travelers who don't want to pay international data charges or don't want to get a local SIM card, and also, or a weak or inconsistent one, right? Connection, and also for let's say some developing markets and places in the world where data connections are unreliable. Now you're going to be able to access Google Maps search and navigation features without a connection. So that was kind of cool. Now there have been in the past some offline digital maps, but with in their collaboration with Nokia, but this one is going to be definitely an interesting one that's going to come out. I believe they said probably by Q3, Q4 this year, where it's going to really be available to the masses. So that was an interesting one that I found very very cool, and also somewhat relevant to our industry, right? To our vertical. Okay, so I just wanted to share that piece of information with you. The other thing that I wanted to share is in regards to Bing Ads Editor. There have been some updates. If you are running paid ad campaigns or paid search campaigns on Bing, they have added a few number of things on their 10.8 editor platform. Number one, support for app extensions. You can actually manage app extensions which show download links for iOS, Windows, and Android devices. Now, this is only available right now for the US, but I'm pretty sure that in the next few months it's going to be available It's going to be available in North America and worldwide. But just to let you know that now they are supporting app extensions, Bing Ads interface. Now this is again for paid search, right, within the Bing console, ads console. You can actually now copy and paste special options. So you can now copy special just the keyword text and select the keywords of the shell, which includes campaign or ad group settings. So it gives you more flexibility if you are looking at copying and pasting keywords from one set to the other one. The new options. Also, there's new options for recommended bid estimate settings, what they call advanced bid changes, where you can actually do a bit of more bulk bid estimates. So there's a couple of things that allow you to, for example, have the option to use the recommended bid estimates like first page or top of page. It gives you a bit more flexibility. I know that our team uses Bing Ads, and sometimes they find it. In some cases, it's less, doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Google AdWords interface has, but it looks like they're getting up there. Obviously, more options for downloading performance statistics, which is very key. For downloading metrics and reports, including revenue return, and you can actually get these reports based on specific campaigns, ad groups, etc. So again, they have improved the way they're demonstrated or displaying statistics on their console or interface. Okay, so just watch out for that if you do have a campaign for one of your clients with Bing Ads. There's some new interesting options that will make your life a little bit easier and better. Okay, Amalia.
Yes, hi. So everyone, I want to sort of share this article. Once again, there was another update with Google. Basically, Google won't say if Google local changes are due to Google bomb fix. And Google has noted that the local rankings have changed, but will not confirm if it was related to the Google bomb fix for the racist local results in Google Maps, such as has happened recently. Last week, Google reported on significant local ranking changes within Google, both local results in web search and Google Maps. They suspected that the ranking changes might be related to Google Maps and the Google bomb fix that rolled out around the same time that they noticed these local ranking changes. But Google, of course, will not say if the local changes are related to this fix or not. Google noted that the changes are happening. However, they won't confirm anything other than the usual, saying that Google is always changing things and improving the algorithms. So they sort of just kept it at that. They won't really admit to anything at this point. Another representative from Google also confirmed investigating the reports of these local changes, but Google will not add more to why it's changed. Last week, as you know, Google Maps got into a little bit of hot water showing racist results in the Google Maps listings. I'm not sure if any of you remember, but Armando did discuss that, and he brought that up. And later on in that week, Google issued a formal apology and stated that they've started to update our ranking system to address the majority of these searches, and this will gradually roll out globally and will continue to refine our systems over time. And so after a couple of days later, the local SEO experts noticed major changes in the local results. So that's been the current update with Google. Armando, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, thank you, Amalia. Yeah, this is actually if you look at the screen right now, I'm showing a screenshot of what was happening, what the SEO experts were reviewing. For example, when they typed in the keyword, just an example, right, of many that probably happened. When you type in the keyword roofing contractors and you were looking for specific roofing contractors in Cleveland, Ohio, and as your location targeted, you were actually getting results from Olean, New York, right? Both organically and also Google Places related or the 7-pack related, right? So you can see that this one's in Southbrook. Oh, actually, this is a Southbrook, Ohio one, which is a local result. But here you go back to Olean, New York. So again, these are things that right now Google did mention that they are investigating this. They're looking into that. At the same time, they're saying they're making updates. So again, if your clients are experiencing some sort of challenges, look for these patterns and maybe run these tests to find out what the issue is. And if the issue is beyond, it's probably beyond your control at this stage. It's really in Google's hands. Just notify your clients that this is what happened this month. And it probably happened I think it happened about a week and a half ago. So it happened on the I think it was the 23rd. So it was a week Friday last Friday just passed. So keep an eye on this with your clients, and just make sure that if you are getting some funky search results, um, just this is probably one of the issues that they're experiencing. Okay, so the reason I bring this up is because over the week we did have some ICs that had questions from their clients, so I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page, that there's some changes happening, and we just have to keep an eye on them. Okay, now if your website is being greatly affected, then work directly with your production team, and I mean, we're more gladly to help you investigate a little bit further into the issue. Okay, um, excellent. Thank you, Amalia, for that. I know we have a couple of slides in coming up, but app indexing. Again, I wanted to touch base on this important theme. I know I received a few questions from ICs in regards to not only the nature of app indexing, but also why it matters, how to do it, etc. So this is a great article in Search Engine Land by Neil Patel, and you know that Neil Patel is a great source of knowledge, information. He does have some quirky articles sometimes, but definitely always provides a lot of value to his content. And this one specifically is in regards to app indexing and why it matters for the future of search. Now, I will tell you, and I've said it again, and again I will say, in the past I've been a little bit uh, uh, I haven't really accepted or really embraced, sorry, that's the word. I haven't really embraced app indexing because I thought it was, we're going to have mobile and then, well, after it's indexing. But it seems that indexing apps is really something that Google is focusing on. And according to Google, definitely it's an area where they are focusing on indexing these apps and even getting to the level where deep links to your Android app appear in Google search results. So again, this is according to Google, and obviously when Google speaks, it is happening. So the whole thing it is that app indexing lets Google index apps just like websites, very crucial, right? So now they have that capability. Deep links to Android app appear in Google search results, letting users get to your native mobile experience quickly, landing exactly on the right content within your app. So how does this work? So this works if you perform a Google search on a mobile device only. The search result will include not just web pages, but also relevant content that is within an app. So if you're running if you have a mobile device that runs apps, as a matter of fact, it would actually not just search or provide search results that are online, but also within these apps. So Google is really taking this into account as part of the whole user experience, user friendliness to it. And as you recall, this was part of the April 21 update. A lot of people made a lot of individuals focus, or SEO experts focus more on the actual mobile friendliness update, but this was also part of that. So Google again is doing that. Now, it's Google's not the only one that has this. Also, in regards to indexing apps, Bing actually allows Windows Phone users to access app content in search results as well. So now we have two search engines that are doing this. So it's very important that if your clients have apps, that these are properly structured and properly designed to be friendly, SEO friendly to some degree. Right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the next slide. But there are three things to kind of look out for in regards to these to the change or to the launch or existence of app indexing. Let's say number one, it improves the search experience for mobile users. App indexing signals the broadening of search potential. The more content that is indexed, the greater the user search experience and results. Now, Google drives higher engagement with apps. Definitely, app indexing helps you drive usage of your app through Google. Deep links to your app appear in Google search results on Android. So primarily, it's really focusing on Android users. You want, if you have clients that have apps and they're not really properly uh, creating or making them app friendly, let's say, or SEO friendly, definitely you have to work with them. So the key thing about this is it also gives you, as a digital marketer, another opportunity, another service solution that you can start, promoting as well, right? And I'll share some of the things that potentially you can review on regards to that. But it also allows you to kind of become knowledgeable in this area, which is also important. right? Obviously, it requires a little bit of education and self-education from your end, but it's also something that's coming around the corner where it will allow us, digital marketers or even SEO specialists at the same time, to be able to provide us such a service. Um, Obviously, Google remains in control. Giga is an agency, OM agency, explains that the expansion of an in-app search will also help Google sell more ads and hold down the competition. So again, at the end of the day, allows Google to serve more of the Google ads. So it's somewhat of a win-win. Why is it a win-win? Well, it's a win for Google. They are obviously selling more ads. It's a win for us digital marketers because we can provide that, you know, mobile ads, and focusing on mobile related platforms, right? And as well as your clients, they can reach their target markets as well. So there is a great opportunity, in regards to the future of search within app indexing. Now, what should we do for our clients? One of them, he talks a little bit about being a tactical move, and the second one, a strategic move. So, what's a tactical move? The obvious: get your app indexed. Now, if your business has an Android app, you need it to be indexed. There's definitely a lot of ways to do this, and there's one way that actually, one of the best sources that Neil Patel has found is by Code Labs, and I kind of have the URL there. So, but even if you just type in on Google Colabs appspot.com, you'll be able to get into their site. And right now, app indexing technology is not widely available to iOS app developers yet, but Google has outlined some first steps you can take to prepare here. Again, it's a service that you may want to test out. Do not pretend to be a pro at this. I would test out one or two clients, small apps, and then move on. But definitely there is a way or a solution to doing this. And sometimes you can work hand in hand with a production team that has more experience in providing that. Okay, so leave it to the experts sometimes. But it is a service that you can provide as a digital marketer. The number two thing that you can do is obviously grow your mobile presence. So it is something that I wouldn't say should become an obsession. Neil Patel talks about being an obsession. I'd say it should become a top level business priority for your business to make sure that you are on top of this new service, or aware of the capabilities, and that if any of your clients are obviously asking you questions, you want to educate yourself. You want to be very well educated in it to be able to answer questions and be able to solve challenges that they may be experiencing, right? So, he talks about conversion specialists should be turned into the conversion optimization potential for mobile. Obviously, it opens up a new way of looking at CRO, conversion rate optimization. SEOs must identify the areas where mobile results can be improved. So again, another opportunity. And CTOs must strategize new ways to gain traction among mobile users. Developers must identify touch points between mobile apps and sites. So it is something that's up, coming out. That's out there right now. And just like social a few years back was small, just like mobile was probably about 24 months, still growing. You can see that app indexing and the growth of apps, it's happening, right? So keep mobile front and center in your thinking. Keep mobile front and center in your client's thinking. Sometimes your client might develop an app without telling you, and it's just sitting there and not getting any use or any optimization or traction from that. Well, you want to maybe touch base on that and seeing how you can assist them. So the key thing is that there is some really good information out there that you can use and self-educate to be able to provide solutions, or not just an opinion, but actually a well thought out solution for your clients in regards to indexing apps. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to share with you quickly as we move forward is we do get questions in regards to Pinterest and what are some of the marketing tips. So here's a great article on Search Engine Journal. These are actually tried and tested marketing tips, and we'll go through them very quickly. Number one, ping consistently at least 5 times per day. However, if you're going to do 5 times per day, you want to make sure you're scheduling your pins and you're leaving enough space in between them, so that way your users are not getting all the 5 pins at once. Because if you do that, you're pretty much spamming them, right? So pin consistently, at least 5 times per day. Try to do that if you want to have real good results based on this study done by this digital social media agency. They recommended that. This is also a good one. Number three, apply for rich pins for your website or blog. Rich pins are free Pinterest feature intended to add greater detail and information on the pins themselves. So again, if you're just pinning images with no rich pins, you could be missing out on this. So definitely look into that. And again, you just type in Google. You can do Pinterest rich pins features, and you'll get you get definitely some great results with even some search results from Pinterest themselves on how to do that. Create pin it for later links. Design images at the proper size. You want to make sure that the best aspect ratio is really 2:3 or 1:3.5 with a minimum width of 600 pixels. So if you're really interested on this and you have a campaign for one of your clients in Pinterest and want to optimize that, I definitely recommend you look at this Search Engine Journal article. That will definitely give you a lot in regards to the proper design, how to do it. I mean, they talk about vertical pins do best than horizontal pins just because of the nature of it. Now, you should be able to create and pin images with text. So don't just pin the images. You want to also get the best out of it. Add a message, whether it be a marketing message or just a message about the images that you're pinning. You want to add text. It definitely, just like when you're doing when you're working on a text-based medium, for example, a blog, and if you add an image, it enhances your blog post, right? Similar thing here with pins. Don't just do images, you can add text. As a matter of fact, number 7, some of the social media experts recommend that you should write better descriptions, keyword-rich, detailed descriptions on the pins and also on the boards to give your users an understanding and allowing them to know what you're pinning on Pinterest, right? And the other key thing that they mentioned to optimize in regards to hashtagging, keyword optimization, they also talk about adding a link to your pin descriptions. So it is a very, very it's a 3-page or 3-web-page article, I will say, that talks about the do's and don'ts and best business practices. So if you are planning on doing a campaign, a Pinterest marketing campaign for your clients, I would recommend you check out this article. Very easy to read as well as to apply to your campaigns. Okay, Amalia.
Yes, so this is also another article I want to share. So coming soon now on Tap. It's an expanded version of Google Now that works in apps and mobile browsers. So Google Now is basically the company's predictive search product, I should say. And it's getting smarter and expanding to work with mobile browsers and apps like Google's indexing. One of the Google representatives for Google Now stated that her team has focused on the 3-prong approach for Now on Tap. Such as understanding context, providing answers, and helping users take action. Google Now already does this, but the idea behind the Now on Tap is to make it smarter and faster and make it work basically almost anywhere on your Android smartphone. Now on Tap will be accessible by tapping and holding the phone's home button. This will bring up Google Now cards whether you're in the app or using your mobile browser. So I thought that was interesting to share. Armando, did you want to touch on that, or? Oh, I think I may have lost him. Anyways,
Yep.
moving forward, I also had
Oh, sorry.
another. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
sorry.
I lost you there.
Yeah, what I'm sharing right now is in regards to the Google Now. So if you look at the screen, you'll see that I've kind of gone to
Perfect.
google.com/landing/now, and you can see how the Google Now cards actually work and how it works with your app. So really, something that you may want to look into for your clients, and definitely it is something that you can try out for them, and may give them some good general results. So if you're looking at thinking outside the box for your clients, look at the Google Now product. So again, you can definitely go online, look for it, and they have a lot of information and support in it. So just want to add that.
Yep, great. Thank you, Armando. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for the next slide to come in because there's another article I'd like to discuss. Let me just see.
Yep.
Yes, here we are. So basically, Google says near me searches have doubled this year. Users are increasingly turning to their phones to find local businesses. Search queries that contain a local qualifier, such as nearby or near me, have doubled in the past year, according to Google Trends data. They also indicated that 80% of those searches come from mobile devices. Now that we're aware of this, you'll start to notice of how often nearby and near me variations of search queries pop up in your Google auto suggest on your phone. So when you're Googling this, you'll notice this a little bit more often. Google first released this data last week with the launch of a new mobile ad product. It was specifically designed around these types of queries. The new nearby business listing strips out the typical copy shown in text ads and feature buttons to get directions or click to the call of the business. A Google representative also confirmed reports that a buy button will soon be appearing to select on search ads. Did you want to touch on that as well, Armando?
Yeah, no, this is actually an extension of, I believe we touched base on this last week as well in regards to Google's nearby ads for mobile. Again, this is for mobile based only. It's not for desktop results, only for mobile based results. And as a matter of fact, I kind of discussed the challenge in regards to an SEO experiment of seeing how potentially, what are the implications now that the Google Auto Suggest is really focusing on near, quote unquote, near me terms. So it'll be interesting to see how can definitely optimize a page with that variation. Obviously, doing it very cleanly. Now, the page you have to optimize them for mobile, right? So, but now Google has definitely confirmed that the data is really double. So in the past year, nearby or near me terms are added to one keyword phrase searches, right? So keep an eye on this. Definitely when you're working on your client's keyword research and doing some investigation before launching an SEO strategy, have a look at this. What would be the impact? Because now not only are we optimizing for desktop, but you have to also look at mobile search results as well. So if you're working on a new client and you know that their mobile demographic is pretty high, typically right now is between 20 to 30% of searches are being done for companies on primarily B2B. They're about 20 to 30. B2C is higher, but you'll notice under Google Analytics, where these searches are taking place, in what type of device, whether it be a desktop, desktop, tablet, or mobile. If the searches are high, try to see how this will impact positively your client's results by just trying to optimize for that additional long tail nearby or near me. So speak with your production team or definitely test it out because it's something that can give you a bit of an edge over the competition, your client's competitor. So thank you, Amalia, for that. Okay, perfect. So moving on, just give me a second. There's one thing that I wanted to share with you, something that was released by Search Engine Land this few days back. It was actually the periodic table of SEO success factors. Now, this is the 2015 edition, and it's a very interesting tool that you can use if you are, working on your client's SEO strategy and you are the SEO specialist. By no means is this the only, let's say, list of best business practices, but I know that Search Engine Land actually did a survey, so they have compiled data across the board with top and active SEO specialists, and they came up with this. I believe it was 2013. They came up with the first one, either 2013 or 2014. They came up with the first periodic table of SEO success, and this year again, they've come out with this, and the goal for them is to help publishers focus on the fundamentals needed to achieve success with search engine optimization. There's quite a number of things that you have to look at them, And it's not about trying to list all 200 Google ranking factors, or detail Google's 10,000 sub factors. The goal of this periodic table is really a guide. It's about, it's designed to broadly guide those new to or experience with SEO into general areas of importance. So if you are doing SEO, what are the things that are very important, right? So, even though they call it a periodic table, it's a very easy to use guide that you should be reviewing if you are, even learning on your own, or you're an experienced SEO expert and you want to say, what, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the most up-to-date things? So this is an area where you can kind of use, this is a table that you can kind of use as a guide as well. Now, based on this new or the new edition of the periodic table, the 2015 edition, they actually have highlighted 3 new elements that they've added to the table. One of them is vertical search. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Direct answers in HTTPS. Mobile and data structure among factors that get weight increases. So obviously, this is very important. With the latest mobile algorithm, those are being weighed as well. So I've actually given you the URL for if you want to kind of download or just have a look at it at searchengineland.com/SEO table. Definitely, it's a great guide whether you are a user or a new SEO or even an experienced SEO specialist. Definitely, it will help you. I mean, at least from an educational perspective, you should at least know, right? So you can look at that. So what the SEO table covers, there are 2 major classes of factors, very key. I mean, we also do that as well, the on page and off page. So the on page factors are largely within the control of publishers, right? These are within the website, so anything from meta content as well as H1, H2. So anything that has to do with the on-page optimization, so within the site. Now the off-page are factors influenced often by others, or in some cases not even tied to a publisher's website, so to a website, right? So this could be something to do with link building strategy, social. It's also a bit off. It is off-page, right? Video as well. So these are factors that can influence the overall SEO performance of a site. They're off page. Okay. Now, 7 categories of factors which are part of both on page and off page. So number 1, content factors relating to the content and quality of your material. So let me actually I don't think give me a quick second here. Let me see if you look at the table on the right hand side, you'll notice that there, you have your content here, right? Here are the different categories: content, architecture, HTML, trust, links, personal, and social. So there are 3 for on the page, and there are 4 for off the page, right? So the capital letter, so in this case C, has to do with the category content. And Q will have to do with the specific secondary component. So content quality, right? In this case, right? So I'm gonna, sorry about this. Give me a quick second. Let me put it up so that way we can all quickly go through it. I should have done this earlier, but just let me just grab it because I know that I'm gonna have some questions. So here, let me type it in here for everyone as well if you wanna see it. Let me, very easy to do, very easy to use. You can actually download it. It's not going to help any much here, but if you look at it, the chart gives you that SEO component, the 7. So content, architecture, HTML, trust, links, personal, and social, as I was mentioning to you. There we go. And just to kind of give you an idea how everything works, obviously content factors relating to the content and quality of your material, architecture factors about your overall site functionality. So again, how clean, how easy to use, It has to do with the whole component of architecture, HTML factors, factors specific to your web pages, trust, factors related to how trustworthy and authoritative a site seems to be. Okay, links, factors related to how link impacts rankings. So that has to do with, if you look at the Q, the lowercase q, it means quality of links. The T stands for trust, and the N obviously for the numbers, right? So definitely it's something that you have to be able to review and to make sure that when you are doing anything for your clients, it has to uh, you know has to be done with quality. Personal, also a very important one. Factors about how personalized search results influence rankings. So personalization, connecting with your client and with your demographic as well. So that's very important. Social, factors on how social recommendations impact rankings. And overall, there are 37 individual factors which range from making use of descriptive HTML tags to whether a site has success with visitor engagement. So definitely that's something that you should visit, and something that you should be able to review when you get a chance. So I kind of posted that for you, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because I don't have a lot of time left, but definitely wanted to share that with you. Now, the new ones that actually have been added to the table are the following. Number one, what they stand for, CV. So at the bottom here, CV, it has to do with a vertical search. And vertical search is really, as users are more educated and become more astute on browsing, obviously now they're pulling data based on categories. So pulling data based on images, news, videos, and local results from vertical search engines, right? So in the old times, it was all about whatever you get, the 10 blue links that came up once you typed in the search results. But now there's so much that's involved, and people are actually even fine-tuning their searches. So give me a quick second. Let me show you how that works, the vertical searches. If anybody has, now I understand that obviously if you are in the US, I am in Canada, so I may not get as many vertical searches as you will. So let's say we look for chocolate. I'm just looking for chocolate chip cookies. I just did a search for chocolate chip cookies. So what they talk about vertical searches are here at the top. You see how we have web, images, shopping, videos, books, and more. So Google obviously is making it more user friendly for for individuals to better fine tune their searches. So in the past, it was all about just web, right? Then they added images and they added maps. So now look at the number of categories, and now you can actually get even fine tune, all results anytime. And obviously, if you're in the US, you get the geo targeted ones, right? The location. Right, in Canada, we don't have that, right? So this is very important, and the manner by which your website's structured to pull that out, it's also very, very important in regards to a ranking factor or part of the periodic table. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. The other thing that's also very important, or sorry, that's new, is actually direct answers. So this has to do with the fact that when you're typing in a search term, and right away you get an answer for it, that's coming more and more common about it. So as you know, all of the search engines, as a matter of fact, Google, Bing, and Yahoo are doing that. So the whole thing about it is how do you get picked? If you do have very authoritative content, very valuable content, and being picked to provide a direct answer seems a sign of trust, which may help a site for other types of queries. There's also some evidence that being selected as a direct answer can indeed send traffic, right? So that's being weighed. So again, let me show you a quick example of how this works. So you can if direct, people sometimes ask, okay, what's a direct answer? How does that work? So for example, here is an example of a direct answer. So my question was, for example, typically it comes out in questions. What is a deep link, right? No, they didn't have one here. So once I went into what is a deep link, right away I got a direct answer, right? And being authoritative enough to not only it puts me in number one ahead of Wikipedia, right? And at the same time, there's a link to that specific website. So it does two things. It creates trust because obviously this direct answer is coming from Google. And number two, it can also generate traffic. So that's also another factor that they've added as a very important factor. Now, obviously, depending on the type of company that your client is in, it may be relevant to some of their products and how you can get them to have direct answers for them. So something that you should definitely look into it because it is something that they've given a bit of a plus one weight. Okay, and the other thing is obviously HTTPS, and that's under architecture. So architecture H, and that has to do with Google's explicit notification about adding HTTPS secure site as a ranking boost last year. So definitely that's something that if you should be considering to get a competitive advantage, and it's adding the secure HTTPS to any site. Again, there's also here's a little bit of there are experts that are I don't want to say controversial, but it's a debatable factor. Some individuals are saying yes, it does help. Others are saying no. Obviously, Google's saying you should, and it gives it it gives it a higher ranking because of that. So look into that as well and test it out. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to share with you today in regards to the new factors: vertical search, direct answers, and HTTPS. Excellent. If you have any questions, I mean, you can always go to the Search Engine Land website and grab information. And if you want to discuss it with us, feel free to touch base with us. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is actually an interesting report that comes out every year. And I'm not going to share the report because graciously enough, one of the ICs sent me the report, and I'll tell you it's 196 pages. And it's by Mary Meeker, and Mary Meeker is she is an authoritative a voice in our industry, definitely from Kleiner Perkins, which is a well-known organization that provides information and service, etc. So her information that comes out once a year is really relevant, and many CEOs, digital marketers, top-level contributors, they always look out for her trends reports. And this year, by no means she has released hers. So if you are interested of getting the full report, or at least reading the full report, you can go to kpcb.com/internet trends. Very good report. You should actually go through it. Some of it is relevant, some of it is just data, but at least you know what's happening out there, right? For example, right now, when you look at this first slide that I thought was kind of cool, is really where we are. So in 1995, there was about 35 million plus internet users, right? And now there's about 2.8 billion internet users, right? So interesting stat of growth of the internet. So again, this could be used as an educational slide. And sorry, for some reason I wasn't able to capture the different colors, but each color represents the different countries, and where those countries are coming from. So if you actually see the report, it tells you the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 countries, I believe, or I think it's by countries or by continents, but it's broken down very, very fine, very detailed information. So it went from less than 1% to 39% population penetration globally. So again, makes for a great slice. Now the other one is in regards to mobile phone users. In 1995, there was 1% mobile or population penetration, or so about 80 million mobile phone users. Now there is 5.2 billion mobile phone users. So in a span of about what is it, 19 years, because this one's reporting on 2014, there's been an increase between 1 to 73%, right? Worldwide, globally, right? Now, the difference here is that the blue is the feature phone and the green is the smartphone. Now, what's a feature phone? I asked myself that same question, so I had to go type it in. Feature phone is pretty much, uh, I would say, a 1995 to about a 2001 phone. So if you recall the old phones, you could only, obviously use it as a communication tool, but you could also start, saving, or you could play music, right? But it was very minimal. It was very, it was like the second generation of mobile phones, I would say, right? So it was very limited on the things you could actually do, or the features, right? Uh, but the blue one, sorry, the green one is the smartphone. So still, you can see that in 1995, obviously there was no smartphones, but you can now see that smartphones pretty much make up 40% of those stats, right? Obviously, feature phones are 60%, because we're talking about globally, not just North America or Europe. We're talking about around the world. So people around the world usually have feature phones. As a matter of fact, it's kind of interesting that in some older generations, and this includes my grandfather, he had like three phones, and I'm like, why do you have three phones? And one was for work, one was for his personal, and the other one was, I don't know what he had it for, but they were feature phones. So again, and these stats, by the way, are based on the fact that one mobile phone per person. Okay, so 5.2 billion mobile phone users worldwide. Okay, so that's an interesting stat. And 40% smartphones, again, talking about the presence of mobile. The other key slide that I kind of like was the user control of content up significantly. So between 1995 to 2015, in 20 years, user, meaning you and I, have more control of the content than before. Now, here is actually a bit of a graph on evolution, right? So if you look at 1975, you had the VCR, content to, be a video, right? VHS, etc. 1980, you had cable, the launch of cable. Then this is talking about content, right? 1985, we had AOL, right? Then here we go, 1995, Yahoo, right? So when you look at WSI's, we're celebrating our 20th year. Look at that, Yahoo's search engine was launched in 1995. Then we had Google come out a little bit after, and then you can start seeing all the different things where eventually now, as of 2010, you can see how much control we have as users in managing the data that we consume, sorry, the content that we consume, but also the content that we can create, because it's easier for us to create content as a user, right? With all the tools out there, YouTube, Netflix, streaming radio, even now when you're looking at Chromecast, eighth generation game console, what we want to hear, what we want to listen to. So again, it makes for a great slide. Okay, and I know that just to finalize the last one, sorry. This one was a very cool one. This is the one that Dan Monahan uses in his presentations in regards to the internet trends and where we are. So what I did here was I actually looked on the left-hand side, you'll see 2013, and on the right-hand side, you'll see 2014. I kind of took this snapshot. And this is actually, looking at mobile ad spend growth, and print remains way over indexed relative to time spent. So again, people spend, or actually companies spending money on print versus the yellow, which is 4%, print being consumed by users, right? People spending time on print versus ad dollars, the blue. So if you look at that, print just keeps going down. Radio went down a point, right? TV, look at that one. We're now at, companies are spending less, right? 41% versus 45% last year. So in a matter of a year, they went down 4%. And time spent actually went up by one. Actually, no, it went down by one. It used to be 38% of time spent on TV. Now it's 37. So again, another loss for TV. And here is where the where the opportunity lies. We're looking at internet, total internet ad spend growing. It grew 1%. You did have a decrease in usage of 1%. But look at mobile. So when you looked at internet ad spend, total internet ad spend last year was about 50 billion. Sorry, last year was 43 billion. In 2013 was 43 billion. In 2014 was 50 billion. So 7 billion more in the span of 1 year on internet. Now, when you look at mobile ad spend, in 2013 you're looking at 7.1 billion, and last year 2014 13 billion, and you can now start to see the rise. There's still an opportunity. There was a bit of a decrease because it was 30 billion opportunity, and now it's 25. But you can see that people are adapting it, doubled. It went from 4 to 8%. And the growth went from 20 to 24. So it grew 4%. So again, I mean, the writing's on the wall for our clients, and really this is a great way of educating them on where the industry is, where they should be putting their money into advertising. So great slide. That's again on Mary Meeker's report. So I wanted to share that with you today to finalize. Um, Yes, Pablo. Yeah, those are very relevant to WSI stage. So, I mean, if you can go download it, if anybody wants a copy, let us know. Send Amalia or I an email. We have the 196 PDF version. So this is wonderful, great stuff and this is not only in the USA, by the way, but I would imagine that it's relevant worldwide to some degree. Okay. So again, I wanted to share that report with you. I think I had shared this already with you, so sorry about that. I think I'll copy. Again, about us, our clients, our services. The only thing I will ask from you this week is go to K2 and rate us. Give us a thumbs up. We will have a special guest in our next week's webinar, so I would invite you for that one as well. So have yourself a great week, and we look forward to another episode of LaunchPad webinars next week on the 9th. June 9th. Again, thank you for attending.
That's right.
Okay, sorry, Amalia. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. No, no worries. Just I want to say thank you, everyone, and see you next week.